2 starts of adrenaline and hype. The 24-hour build-up to his Phillies debut even left him pushing too hard at times. The second time around, the right-hander's excitement was more effective, and the push was under control. The next step has arrived for Roy Oswalt, and for the first time, welcome home. The Phillies and their fans have thrown out the welcome mat for Phillies right-hander Roy Oswalt, who's making his 3rd start in a Philadelphia uniform, but his first here at Citizens Bank Park with the red and white pinstripes. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Gary Matthews. Chris Wheeler will be along in just a little bit. A gorgeous night here in Philadelphia, and for Roy Oswalt, his first start here in this ballpark since 2008. It's also his first start in a Phillies uniform here at Citizens Bank Park, Sarge.
Yeah, this guy, too, again, is a real deal. His record right now, 6-13. You got to throw that out of the window. This guy here is a #1 pitcher. When he gets on the mound, he keeps his team in the game. That's what you want him to do. Take a look at his last start here at Citizens Bank. You'll see exactly what I mean. He's got that little curveball, if you want to talk about that, but he's around the plate, fastballs, up and in. Again, he's an intimidator, and he'll stare you down, too. Look right at you. And, again, this guy here on the mound, all he will do is give your team a chance to win. Take a look there at the graphic. 27 2/3 innings. Well, take a look at those strikeouts. 25 there, Tom. That's what it's all about. Again, this guy here is the real deal.
Well, the key is 4 starts here at Citizens Bank Park as a member of the Houston Astros, a 4-0 record. So Roy Oswalt certainly seems like he's going to be comfortable here in Philadelphia. He'll be opposed tonight by right-hander Chad Billingsley for the Dodgers. Well, last night the Dodgers put a thumping on the Phils, but Raul Ibanez extended his hitting streak to 17 consecutive games. Raul's in the starting lineups, which we'll get to when we return. Game series. Dodgers won last night Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Joe Torre's squad. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Same lineup as last night, with the exception of the 8-hole hitter. We'll get to that in a second. Scott Posednik, the center fielder, leads it off. Ryan Theriot, the second baseman, bats second. Andre Ethier hits third, followed by James Lodi, the first baseman. Casey Blake's over third. He'll bat fifth. Jay Gibbons, the left fielder, bats sixth. Jamie Carroll's at shortstop once again. He'll hit seventh. A.J. Ellis makes the start behind the plate. He'll be the number 8 hitter. And batting ninth and pitching is right-hander Chad Billingsley. And they'll face Roy Oswalt, who leads the league in losses with 13. But he's making his first start here in Philadelphia. And there was butterflies when he pitched out in Washington in his first start for the Phillies. I'm not sure if they'll be the same kind of butterflies tonight.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that he's over that time. You know, you mentioned the one loss, but he doesn't get many runs. His run support's the lowest in the league, too, and that's one of the reasons why he's 6-13. Look at right-handed hitters against him, and the opposition, 228. Left-handed hitters a little bit better. Here's our Southwest Airlines scouting report. He's still, and we've seen this, still throwing between 90 and 95. And, you know, his fastball has been a little erratic, and that's probably why he struggled a little in the first couple of games. Real good curveball still. Here's our Nissan keys to the game. Clear the slate. Forget that stinker last night. That was terrible. And Roy Oswalt, this is his first start at Citizens Bank in a Phillies uniform, but he's been good here with the Astros.
Oh, it's the end of the model year, and Nissan's laying it all on the line. Nissan's bottom line sales event going on now. So here we go. Scott Posednik leads it off against Oswalt. Posednik has good numbers against Roy. And the first pitch, fastball outside, so we're underway. Posednik last night, 2 for 6. He's riding a 7-game hitting streak. And he's 9 for 30 against Oswalt for his career. Off the outside corner, and quickly it's 2-0.
Fastball command. That's where he had trouble in that last start in Florida. And as a result, his pitch count got high early.
He said after that start that he's been going through a dead arm period, which generally happens when he reaches 100 innings. Well, he's past 100 innings. He's thrown 141 in the third. He said it doesn't usually last that long.
A dead arm should not be confused with bad arm either. It just means you're just not coming out of your hand the way you want it to. You're not hurt.
2-1 the count to Posednik. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, this one went 10. It may not seem that way by looking at the score. The Astros tied it in their half of the 9th, and then the Braves scored 6 in the top of the 10th. Brian McCann topped it all off with a grand slam. So the Phillies are 3 games back in the National League East. To win tonight, and they could be 2.5 back going into tomorrow. Opposite way, and it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
All fastballs so far from Roy Oswalt. 91 to 93.
One of the issues he had in his last start down in Florida was the mound. He just wasn't landing comfortably. There were some pockets on the mound that were causing him to slip a little bit when he landed. There's a changeup that's hit towards center. And Jason Worth ventures back, makes the grab. One away.
Yeah, after all those fastballs, the changeup's 82. There's your basic 10 mile per hour separation. That's ideal for your fastball and your changeup. And watch, as Tom called it, his changeup. Watch Posednik jump at this. Just that little bit he takes off it, and see he's just out front and hits it off the end of the bat, a weak fly ball, and that's why a changeup is such a great pitch.
So 1 away, and here's Theriot. Theriot swings at the first pitch. He was 3 for 5 last night with 3 runs scored and an RBI. He has also seen Oswalt a number of times in his career. 7 for 24 against him.
When he played in that division with the Astros, he of course was with the Cubs for his first part of his career until he moved over here.
1-1 the count.
Oswalt, you were mentioning his stride. Volstad, and he's 6'8", is Volstad. He's 6'1", or 6 foot maybe. And they were landing in the same spot basically because he's such a long strider for a guy who isn't that tall. Unbelievable the way he jumps out at you.
Well, they were saying that when he landed, there were different lumps on the mound, and every time he would land, those lumps would basically spray.
Look at that. It's amazing for a guy his height where he lands.
1-2 the count to Theriot. And the changeup hit the opposite way. Tough hop for Glow, but he takes it on the glove side. 2 outs. During the 2010 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream. Sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Now 2 away, and here's Andre Ethier. Ethier had a heck of a night last night. He was 4 for 4. He scored 4 runs. He drove in 3. And he became the first Dodger since Sean Green in 2002 to reach base safely in all 6 of his plate appearances last night.
When Green hit the 4 home runs at Milwaukee?
I think it was.
They don't say that on that note, but I was just thinking back to that. It seems like the same time. Because Green had an unbelievable day there. When you say reach base, he reached base. He touched them all in that game, a lot.
Well, Ethier not only walked, but he also was hit by a pitch last night. And it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes to him. Look at that, 94 from Oswald.
Yeah, 91 to 94 is a good range for him. We've seen 95 also from him. Good numbers, Ethier. Boy, he is unbelievable lately. As you said, last 6 games, 478.
Breaking ball.
Got that real good curveball, you know. So Padilla slopping them up there last night. Where Oswald will throw his in the 70s, and he'll try to backdoor left-handed hitters just like that. And that is really close, but probably a little bit outside.
But again, he's ahead. 1 ball and 2 strikes against Ethier. Ethier late on the fastball, and it remains 1-2. Well, this is certainly Roy Oswald's time of the year. During his career in the month of August, how about 28-7 with an ERA of 2.80. Right down the chute, a called strike 3. Ethier must have been looking for a breaking ball, and Oswald picks up his first strikeout of the night. 1, 2, 3 go the Dodgers here at the top of the first. We go to the middle of the first. The fastball, it's got pretty good velocity from Roy Oswald and good command. Billingsley for the first time this year. Here's Charlie Manuel's lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Placido Polanco, the third baseman, bats second. Ross Gloat hits third, followed by Raul Ibanez, the left fielder. Jason Worth is in center. He'll bat fifth. Dominic Brown, the right fielder, bats sixth. Carlos Ruiz does the catching. He'll hit seventh. Hitting eighth and playing second base, Wilson Valdez. And batting ninth and pitching, of course, is Roy Oswald. And they'll face right-hander Chad Billingsley, making his 22nd start of the year. And boy, the Phillies see him in the regular season. He's really good. In the postseason, not so good.
They didn't even use him in the postseason last year. It was 2 years ago when he had 2 starts against them and they beat up on him. He has really good stuff, but he's erratic and he's on a good run right now. Here's our numbers on him, and you see he's just barely under hits per innings pitched, and not really that many strikeouts. He used to really rely on his curveball, and they say now he's throwing a lot more cutters. That's why we put that on there in the Southwest Airlines scouting report. He does have a good curveball, but he's using the cutter a lot, and those are his lifetime numbers against the Phillies, of course, postseason not included.
Yeah, his numbers overall against the Phillies in the regular season, as you saw, pretty good, with a 1-1 record at 3.24 earned run average. His numbers against the Phillies in the postseason, not good at all. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Jimmy.
And a fastball on the outside corner. It's 2-2. Jimmy overall hitting .251. He's also on a hitting streak. He's hitting 7 straight. And hitting close to 400 in his last 9 home games. Well, here's Billingsley splits wheels. Regular season and postseason here at the ballpark. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Well, yeah. They've had some good luck with him.
Swing and a miss. And he has luck against Jimmy to start the bottom of the first. So 1 away. That fastball came in at 92 miles an hour, and it was sinking.
And see if it's a strike. No, but it was when Jimmy started to swing. Out of his hand, it looked like a strike, and then, as you said, it really sunk.
So with 1 away, here's Placido Polanco. As Jimmy will take the shin guard off, take the helmet off, get himself ready to go back on the field. Polanco last night left the game early. Charlie Manuel just felt like getting Greg Dobbs some innings and get some at bats. But we had mentioned that Polanco looked like he was in a little bit of pain on a ground ball in last night's game. And I asked Polly today, and he said, yeah, it hurt. But he said today he woke up and felt better. It was sore, but it wasn't as sore as it used to be. Earlier in the year, and he said he was very happy that when he got to the ballpark today, there wasn't a whole lot of stiffness.
Yeah, they were worried about that last night. Remember when it happened, we thought, uh-oh, he landed on that elbow, and you could see him grimacing. And that is one of the reasons why they had to make a double switch last night, because they were trying to get some innings out of Herndon. They had a short bench. It was still early in the game. They were in a bad spot last night. Charlie says, hey, we were trying to do what we could do to hang in there, but it just didn't work out, and, we took a loss.
2-1 the count to Polanco. Opposite way, and Theriot has it on 1 hop. And there are 2 outs.
Here's a play where Casey Blake hits his ball. He made a heck of a play on it there. He didn't land on the elbow, but he landed on his hand and probably jammed it a little bit. And then we showed the replay. Then we showed it later on, and you can see he was definitely grimacing. He does anyway, making the play. I mean, that's just what they do. But later on, he was flexing it a little bit, and he thought, uh-oh, not again.
Well, that'll bring Ross Gload to the plate. Gload had a good night offensively last night. He had 2 two-run home runs, second time in his career. He had a multi-home run game. And look at that. He's hit safely in 9 straight starts. And he flares that one to left. Coming on is Gibbons, and he makes the catch. And the side is retired. A 12-pitch inning for Chad Billingsley, so he matches what Roy Oswalt did in his half of the first. We go to the second. It's the Phillies nothing, the Dodgers nothing. Bank Park, we go to the top of the second, and James Loney leads it off against Roy Oswalt. Oswalt worked a 1-2-3 top of the first. Loney last night was 2 for 5. And he's way out in front of the second pitch from Oswalt. That was another changeup, but it's 1 ball and 1 strike. A little bit outside. One thing that Rich Doobie was talking about with Roy Oswalt was with his fastball, he had a tendency, and Roy even talked about this after his last start, of opening up just a little bit. And that was part of his issue. That ball's hit hard. That's a fair ball right over the first base bag. Dominic Brown tries to get to it quickly, but then spun around, and that's going to allow Loney to get to second. It's all part of familiarizing yourself with the ballpark. The way that ball shot off of the brick in foul territory caused Dominic to kind of spin around, and that gave Loney a few extra steps.
Yeah, it really looks like it's going to go to the corner there. It just goes over the corner of the bag and just off the corner. And see, he was retreating to the right field corner because it really didn't look like it was going to hit anything, and now he had to spin to catch it. And he's not going to get Loney at second.
Well, 31st double for James Loney, and now he's in scoring position for Casey Blake. Blake takes an off-speed pitch for a strike. Blake was 2 for 4 in last night's game. In fact, it seems like everybody that we're talking about with the Dodgers was 2 for something.
Yeah, they had fun last night.
They did have one guy that was hitless, and we'll talk about him in a few, and hopefully another inning.
There's usually one guy in a game like that doesn't get in on the party. It's amazing how many times that happens.
Sensei Padilla threw 5 innings last night. Well, I guess we could say that he was hitless too.
Yeah, well, that would be expected.
Blake trying to shoot that ball the opposite way, get Loney over to third.
That was pretty impressive with 2 strikes. You know, it's hard to do. It's hard to do any time, but especially with 2 strikes, to give yourself up and hit it the other way. You know, he gave it a shot there.
0-2 the count.
Oswalt uses that curveball a lot of times as a strikeout pitch, the same way that Roy Halladay does, because it's such a big bender, and it has a tendency to lock a hitter, because they both throw hard enough that it really can freeze a hitter when he throws a curveball in the strike zone like that.
Ooh, that just missed. That wasn't the curve, that was the change, and it must have been a little low for Chad Fairchild.
He's throwing a lot of changeups tonight off his fastball. And that came running back too.
Tried a breaking ball. Now it's 3-2 to Blake. Dodgers begin play tonight 5 games over 500 and 7 games back in the National League West. Joe Torre has his team playing over 500 baseball, even with the likes of Jake Gibbons in the lineup instead of Manny Ramirez. Rafael Furcal on the DL. Russell Martin on the DL. And as there's ball 4. And the Dodgers have 2 base runners here in the second.
That's a guy who really wanted 0-2. That's a tremendous at bat for Blake. Said he was buried in the count there, and then comes back and walks.
Now he's got a hot hitter. Yes, it's only 5 at bats, but Jay Gibbons has been tough to retire. Last night he was 3 for 4, hit his first home run since 2007. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Loney's on second base. Blake's on first. Bills will look to turn 2 and get a couple outs here. It's kind of the same spot he was missing in Florida. You know, it was running away from the left-handed hitters inside to the right-handed batters.
And you want your fastball to run like that. You hope they'll swing at it, because that's a double play ball right there if he'll swing, or a potential double play ball, because they're going to turn it over, and you see how many double plays he's thrown this year and how many opportunities.
Well, that could be two. Valdez has got it. There's one, and Jimmy steps and throws for two. 4-6-3. 8 double play rolled by Oswalt this season.
That's a changeup. Boy, that was a strange way that Jimmy took that pivot. I don't know whether he couldn't flash across or what, but he took it straight on, had to back up a little bit and throw with just his arm. He really couldn't use his legs there, and he got smoked. See why he came across the bag the way that. Here's the changeup. Now, see how he takes that? He just decided to back off instead of flash across. Right there. Normally they come flying across the bag, and he'll be 10 feet further towards the outfield and get allowed on the throw. They asked him about that, why he decided to take it that way.
Well, I've talked to him about the double play combinations that he's had this year, and he said Valdez is really difficult to receive the ball from because he throws so hard, and because he is a shortstop playing second, and sometimes he has to get himself firmly planted in order to catch the ball from Valdez. Well, so maybe that was the case.
Well, yeah, maybe that's a good point, because maybe he's just wary of where it's going to go, and
exactly
that he's not being led across the back, because a shortstop always wants to be led, and Valdez should know. I mean, as you say, he's a shortstop, but he knows how he likes to be led. They never want to be in the area of the bag like that where they can get blown up, because they don't have to be.
Well, here's Jamie Carroll, and Carroll hits it right to third. Good hop for Polanco. He gave a little peek over at Loney, but still was able to throw it across the diamond in plenty of time. So the 4-6-3 double play certainly helped out Roy Oswalt. We go to the bottom of the second, and Raul Ibanez is due to lead off. TV today to see every Phillies game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Phillies.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Raul Ibanez is set to lead it off for the Phillies, and he has been one of the hotter hitters in the league, riding a career-high 17-game hitting streak. I mean, look at that, Wheels. He's almost hitting 400 during the stretch.
He's been hot. And it all started when Ryan Howard was hitting behind him. I think that really helped him. He saw a lot of right-handed pitching, not pulling off the way that he was, and hitting a lot of balls hard and getting good swings.
Well, real good production, too. 16 runs scored and 16 RBIs during that 17-game stretch. And, with Ryan out with the ankle injury, the Phillies have certainly needed him to pick it up. And it's quickly 0-2. That was the cutter from Billingsley.
He has tied a record, the longest hitting streak in Major League Baseball history, of a player whose name begins with a letter I.
Who did he tie? Mike Ivey?
No, the guy was in the 1890s. I can't remember his name. He, as he strikes out there, Dave Smith from RetroSheet.org told us about that. He said every other letter of the alphabet has at least a 20-game hitting streak. Really? Except I and X. don't know how these guys come up with this stuff.
I don't know who would be X. Yeah, that could make a run at it at all. Maybe there's some first grader out there. So I and X.
I and X. So you could see him set a record here tonight if he were to hit an 18 straight for the letter I.
Well, the 17 game hitting streak for Ibanez is the longest since Utley hit in 19 straight back in 2007. Want to know the count to Jason Worth? And make that 2-0. Off the end of the bat toward left. That's going to drop in front of Gibbons. That's a 7-game hitting streak for Jason Worth. 34 hits now for Jason since the All-Star break. And how about the fact that he leads the National League in hits since the All-Star break? Hey, the Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Florence Cassia of Boyertown, PA. If the Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, then Flo's going to win $100. Somebody had to call her Flo along the lines.
Oh,
right?
Florence? Oh, yeah. Florence's. A lot of Florences are Flo's.
Here's Dominic Brown with Worth leading off first.
Our good friend in Clearwater, whose husband John was our ball and strike operator for the scoreboard for a long time. John Lutz, his wife is Florence, and she's Flossie.
Oh, okay, maybe Florence is Flossie.
Yeah. Floss, Flo. It's not a name you hear a lot nowadays.
I agree with that.
You know, it's more of the Britneys and Courtneys and that sort of stuff.
All nice names, too.
Beautiful names. Not a whole lot of John and Marys anymore. No Hazels. My grandmother was Hazel.
I don't know if I've run across a Hazel.
No. Mildred. You know, those kind of names.
0-1 the count to Dominic with an O.
Yeah. There you go. There's another different spelling.
Swing and a miss. He tied him up.
Well, he's going to try that cutter, fastballs and stuff in, you know, on Dominic Brown. They're still working on him to find his holes.
Well, he had his first major league home run last night. He had a 4 RBI game. It's unfortunate the Phillies lost the ball game because he and Ross Gload really put on a pretty good show. See how late he was on that. He waited and still was able to get the bat through the strike zone.
Here's his home run last night on that breaking ball from Ronald Belisario. He hit it out of the ballpark. And, you know, haven't seen that much of him, but he's obviously a low ball hitter, like a lot of left-handed hitters are.
Lays off a high fastball. It's 1-2. There's a lot of talk about what the Phillies will do with Dominic Brown once Shane Victorino is cleared to play. Shane played 5 innings last night for Lehigh Valley. And Charlie answers that question the same way he answers every question when it comes to roster moves. It's a nice problem to have, and we'll address it when we have to.
And I'm not telling you first.
The Phillies are hoping that Shane could be activated by Friday night when the Phillies take on the Mets up at Citi Field. He had a hit last night in his rehab assignment, and again is scheduled to play 7 innings tonight for the Iron Pigs. The fact that he came out feeling pretty good after last night is a good sign. And Brown fouls another one off. Somebody just made a really good catch.
Yeah, but somebody missed it, and then somebody caught it behind him. The Comcast box area down there too. Whoever missed it, somebody behind him made a heck of a catch.
Well, there's Marge. Marge is going to sign the ball. I don't think Marge caught it, though.
It is Comcast, right?
I believe it is.
Yeah, that's their spot normally.
Go ahead, keep it. Michael Barkan was backing up on the play. Swing and a miss. And Brown is down on strikes.
See that stuff coming down and in, that hard cutter from Billingsley, and that's a tough pitch for a left-handed hitter. I think Roy Halladay has a great cutter. Talk about it all the time. When you throw it like that, as a left-handed hitter, you either swing over it or hit it foul. You're not going to keep that ball fair. You can't.
Jason remains at first. Now, Jason's stolen 7 bases this year. A.J. Ellis spent a lot of time in the minor leagues and had good numbers defensively behind the plate for the Dodgers.
It's funny not seeing Russell Martin back there because he played. It seemed like he played every game.
And the fact that he was injured scoring. Came in sliding at home. And time was called before Billingsley offered that pitch. Pops it up right side on the rim of the infield. Loney gives way to Theriot, and almost hit Theriot right in the face, but he makes the catch, and the side is retired. It was a foul ball. The Phillies get a hit. They strand one. We go to the third. Paper and radio and television members of the media got together to play at a celebrity softball game. And a few base hits here, a few base hits there. There's Mark Zumoff, the voice of the Sixers. He did a little tomahawk on that base hit into left field. And Marshall Harris had a little bit of trouble, but he kept his eye on the ball, which is very important. Now, we think, and we're not totally sure just yet, but we think that the final score was 7-1. It could have been 8-1. We're not sure. And we believe it was 7-1. And there you go. The radio and website folks defeated the television and newspaper folks 7-1. But more importantly, it raised money for a great cause. And Sylvia Nissenbaum, who is the new chairman of the board for PAL, is sitting next to us up here in the booth. And we're going to introduce you to Sylvia in just a second, as A.J. Ellis leads it off. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sylvia. And that's Wheels. Sylvia, welcome.
Hi, Sylvia.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
My pleasure.
Great night.
It's a fantastic night for PAL and a great night for the Phillies.
Great night for the Phillies. We hope it gets even better for the Phillies. We know it's getting better for PAL as A.J. Ellis bounces that one to Valdez. He throws him out. And there's one away. Well, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
On being the chairman of the board. And tell us what's in store for PAL in your year here.
Well, I'm the first woman chairman of PAL, so that's pretty exciting for me and for the organization. And we're very excited that we're part of this night. It's our 32nd night with PAL Night at the Phillies, and it's raised over $30,000 for PAL. It's a great fundraiser for us. Great fundraiser for PAL, and it's great for the kids. I mean, all the centers around the city. 27 centers around the city? Currently 26. 26, excuse me. Serving about 27,000 children. Chad Billingsley, a chopper to short. And there are two away.
And obviously the financial part of it is so huge for the kids and what you're able to do. And we want people to continue to support it, so we want them to go to phillypal.com.
Absolutely.
If they would like to donate, but also find more information about it. And Wheels, you've been part of this for a number of years. It's always a great night.
Yeah, it's gotten bigger and bigger, too. And it's so important in this city. It's so important nowadays when, a lot of funding is not available for things. And I have to think this has to... How'd you get involved in it?
I've been a volunteer since 1971. I joined the board in 1995 and was just I was treasurer for 3.5 years and just elected chair in June.
Well, how important is it for the corporations that are involved, but even other corporations and individuals to get involved?
Well, we need their support. Obviously, this economy has been very tough on all nonprofits, and PAL is no exception, but we have fantastic foundations, corporations that support us. Tonight, we have terrific sponsors. For the first time, we have Ron and Evie Krancer being our title sponsor. Very generous supporters of PAL. He's one of our vice chairmen, and he was instrumental in introducing scholarships to PAL. And we give out over 200 scholarships a year now.
That's impressive.
Yes.
Just because, the centers themselves are impressive and all the work that the police officers do, but it's just impressive to have that kind of an impact on a child's life. Like
yes.
That.
So we get to involve the kids from age 6 to 18, and then if they get a scholarship, we keep going for another 4 years.
Well, that's great. Well, Scott Pasetnik just reached on an infield single with 2 outs here in the third. And Ryan Theriot is due up. Well, here is a look at some of the campaign goals for PAL. And Sylvia, as we bring these up, tell us how important all of this is and what needs to be done.
Well, it's very important for us to get the funding so we can keep our PAL centers operating. We have to keep the lights on, the heat on, have all of the money we need to give the program to the kids. Every single program is free to the children. All of the equipment they receive, T-shirts, anything they need, everything is free to every single child. And besides all of our sporting events, we have lots of cultural events, educational events, and the kids just get a lot of exposure that they may not otherwise have had.
Do you feel, we've had a lot of police officers up here over the years talking about this too, but, in your end of it too, do you see lives that are changed, maybe even saved by this?
Oh, absolutely. We've had so many PAL kids come back to our luncheons and our board meetings and say that, but for PAL, they would probably be in jail or maybe not even alive, that they really feel that PAL is a game changer for them. And scholarships allow them to do things that they might not otherwise have had an opportunity to do as well.
Well, back-to-back hits for the Dodgers has put runners on first and second with 2 outs here in the third. And we mentioned the corporate sponsors, and I know how important they are, and, the individual sponsors, too.
Right. We have lots of individuals that are very generous, and we count on them year after year to give us their support. And I think they get the passion for PAL that I have, and so many of our board members, every one of our board members. We have a very large and active board. And through those individual contributions, we raise quite a bit of money. And when we run a little short, we can always count on those board members to help us.
Andre Ethier's the batter with 2 outs and 2 runners aboard here in the top of the third. A scoreless game. And the first pitch for Moswell popped up. Towards center field, Jason Worth moves a few steps to his left. He's under it, and he makes the catch, and the side is retired. Sylvia, best of luck, and we appreciate it as always, and thanks for all you do for PAL.
And thanks again to the Phillies. We couldn't do this without them. We really appreciate it.
It is our pleasure. It's always a great night here at the ballpark. Again, we want to invite you to go to phillypal.com to find out more information or maybe even donate. It's on by the Quality Plus Ford dealers and by Budweiser. With full flavor and a crisp, clean finish, it's what we do. Well, bottom of the third, scoreless ball game so far. Dodgers with 3 hits, the Phillies with 1. As Wilson Valdez will lead it off. Valdez is 6 for 15 on this homestand so far for the Phillies. Talked to Wilson today. I said, how much are you enjoying getting a chance to play every day? And he said, well, obviously he's enjoying it. He thinks it's going to make him a better player once September rolls around and Chase comes back. And he said, you know, normally he's working at second base, at shortstop, at third base, and even in the outfield. But he said he's primarily been, you know, taking ground balls just at second. And he said, so things are going to change when Chase comes back.
One of the great ironies in baseball is that the season started with Juan Castro as a Phillies infielder, their extra man, their utility guy. And then Valdez came up, and he outplayed him. The Phillies released Castro. He went to AAA for the Dodgers, who signed him, and he's here tonight as they put Carroll on the DL.
Slowly hit ball to shortstop. Carroll makes a nice play, and Valdez is retired for the first out. Time now for the Dodge Stump the Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wills, the question is, what player holds the National League record for most consecutive games played? That is a good refresher course right there.
Yeah, because you know, it's pretty obvious who holds a Major League record, and he was certainly an American League player. There's Juan Castro.
That's not a hint, by the way.
No.
Seeing Juan Castro.
Hey, that reminds me. Last night we had some fun with Wino.
Yeah.
And I got a couple of emails today, and we always appreciate fans checking on us.
Let me get the white out.
The umpire was not Chris Pellicudis, it was Ed Vargo the night of the no-hitter when Wino felled the home plate umpire. The story was okay up until that point, but as Whitey used to say, don't ever let the facts get in the way of a good story. So I appreciate the people that wrote in today to tell me that it was Ed Vargo and not Chris Pellicudis. I mentioned that to Wino tonight, and I know he told me it was Pellicudis. But he says, no, I told you it was Vargo.
What else did he tell you, Will?
The story was true. He did hit him right in the throat. But what? He told me that story in
the strictest of confidence.
And that's not true. That's typical Wino fudging the facts.
2-2 the count to Roy Oswalt with one away here in the third.
But he did make the last out of Koufax's no-hitter against the Phillies, and he was a pinch hitter that night.
Said he was very concerned.
Imagine that's all Mock had left on the bench.
There were times where he pinch hit for Bobby Wine early in the game, and that night he decided to send him up there.
For the last out.
Pop up, shallow right center. Theriot is back there, and he puts it away. So Billingsley has retired the first 2 batters. Hey, after the game, former Phil's all-star closer Ricky Bottalico breaks down all the action from this game and provides expert analysis found nowhere else. Phillies post-game live presented by Sloan Toyota. That's following the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Jimmy struck out his first time up. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Billingsley taking a page out of Vicente Padilla's book there on that curve.
Well, Billingsley, that would used to be his best pitch, not in the 60s, but maybe the 70s. But he's throwing, according to reports, and you can see it here tonight, a lot more cutters this year.
2-1 the count to Jimmy. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Marlins are leading the Nationals 5-1. Logan Morrison is 2 for 2. Marlins won yesterday against Steven Strasburg in the Nationals. Now they lead this one by 4. Marlins found out today that Chris Coughlin was set to begin his rehab assignments And they expect that he'll be back sometime in the next week. Chopper right side. And James Loney will wait for it. And he takes it to the bag, and the side is retired in order. Phillies go down 1-2-3 here in the third. 5 in a row retired by Billingsley. He's allowed just one hit on a beautiful night here in Philly. Hey, nobody delivers office supplies faster or for less than WB Mason. With free next-day delivery and in many locations, free same-day delivery, WB Mason is the one office supplier that really delivers. Who but WB Mason? Top of the fourth, James Loney, who doubled his first time up, settles in for the Dodgers. Gary Matthews settles in up here in the booth. And it's no balls and 1 strike to Loney. To the count. Opposite way, little roller right at Polanco. And there's one away. So 1 out here in the fourth. And it'll bring Casey Blake to the plate. We mentioned that Gary Matthews was joining us here in the booth, and here is Sarge. And Sarge, so far, Oswald has had good life in his fastball, and he's thrown a heck of a lot more changeups than his last time out.
Well, he is, though. The fastball is setting up everything. A lot of movement on his pitches, evident of left-handers being able to slap that ball the other way. But then he throws that little slow breaking ball over the plate, and that's just to keep those hitters off balance.
All right, how about this stat, Sarge? We talk about Tim Hudson and how dominant he is when his teams score runs for him. Now, Roy Oswald hasn't gotten a whole lot of run support this year. But during his career, when his team, I mean mostly the Astros, score 3 to 5 runs, he's 53 and 22. I mean, get the man some runs.
Let's go 3 runs, for sure. You know, but he just hasn't gotten a lot of support this year. And even though that record, 6 and 13, that's why I'm not really a stat type person. You can throw that right out of the window because he pitches a lot better than what his record would indicate.
Well, he's ahead 0-2 to Blake, so ahead 0-2 to the first 2 batters here in the inning. He just can't get a feel for that curve tonight, at least the first few times he's thrown it. And there you go. 2.32 runs per game.
Wow.
That's not a lot of runs.
Well, that's why his record is where it is, 6 and 13 coming into tonight's ball game.
Fastball just missed. He wanted that one.
Good pitch. You're going to throw in, you want it inside, therefore that hitter can't get the head of the bat to it. He can pull that one foul.
Another chopper to third. Another easy play for Polanco. 2 outs. Now the Dodgers will exit Philadelphia tomorrow night. Later on this month, Tuesday the 17th to be exact, the Phillies and the Giants will get together. That's next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All three of those games are at 7:05. You can get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. We said the Phillies are in the middle of 16 of 19 here at this great ballpark. That's a good changeup right there.
Now, one of the things, though, he is getting are those ground balls, and that tell you that he'd have some sink on his pitches.
There's another ground ball. This is going to be 9 outs recorded by the Phillies tonight on the ground, courtesy of Roy Oswalt. 1, 2, 3 go the Dodgers. We go to the bottom of the 4th. The Phillies offense looking to get rolling. But WB Mason for amazingly low office product prices. Buy your local Dodge dealers. Buy Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phillies. And buy Xfinity, its TV, phone, and internet reinvented from Comcast. Last of the 4th. Having some fun here at the ballpark. They'd be having even more fun if the Phillies can get some runs. It'll be Placido Polanco, Ross Gload, and Raul Ibanez against Chad Billingsley. Sarge, we looked at the numbers before for Billingsley here at the ballpark. And during the regular season, his numbers are pretty good here at Citizens Bank Park. During the postseason, the last couple of years, numbers not so good. Now, the stadium doesn't change from the regular season to the postseason, but I guess the stage is a little different.
Circumstances are different, and you are on stage when you're in that postseason. A lot of times, that ball looked to be a little bit in. You know, a lot of times you just knock yourself where you might squeeze the ball, and then you're making bad pitches. You know, and I found mostly in the playoffs, pitchers are trying to just get that ball over the plate. A little better, though, nowadays. See, once he calls the inside pitch now, that's what Polanco did. He ended up swinging at a ball that was inside, off the plate a little, but didn't want that pitch called on him. That's what opens up the outside part of the plate when you're able to get inside strikes.
Line drive, foul. One hop into the seats. Played nicely by that gentleman. Shoved by the lady.
Well, that's where you get high fives, though, when you catch a ball going into the stands, and you look for high fives. You look all around.
With a looper, that's going to drop it to right for a base hit. That's a 10-game hitting streak now for Polanco. And it's a leadoff single for the Phillies. Just the second hit for the Phils. And that base hit leads things off for our thirst inning. That's right. It's brought to you by Budweiser. It's the official beer of the thirst inning. And it comes here in the bottom of the fourth. Buy a bottle, get a flip-flop. Here's Ross Glode. Glode fly to the left his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. And that's a little low, 1-0. So it's getting back to the playoffs, the regular season playoff splits. Billingsley's not the only guy in baseball history that's had those issues. I mean, it's
well, players too. I mean, it's on both sides. I mean, it's just it's a situation when you're playing. You know, everybody's looking, and then a lot of times players will start to press a little. That's why you like getting that first hit out of the way if you can. Has a tendency to relax you. And then if you lose, then it's just more pressure, especially if you haven't done anything. You're always looking for some type of an edge.
That's over for a strike, and it's 2-0-1. Well, I remember that game in 2008 when Billingsley allowed 8 runs, 7 earned in 2 1/3. Now, the Dodgers made a little bit of a run at the Phillies that day, where the Phillies wound up winning game 2 8-5.
Sometimes you just can't get started, you know, pitching wise. And a lot of times those good pitchers, you get them early, they don't have a chance to settle down.
Little flare to left center field. Gibbons coming on. He dives and he made the catch. I didn't think he was going to get there, but he did. And there's one away.
Now, that's a pretty good jump on the ball. The only reason that he ended up catching that, any hesitation at all, that ball is going to drop right in. Give him a little credit on that, because if it gets by him, they're off to the races as he comes in and appears to catch that ball cleanly as he comes in all the way, backhands that ball.
Boy, that's a great look right there. I'm not sure if he caught that ball.
Looked like a little snow cone for me.
You think so?
Yep. Kept it in the glove all the way. Didn't come out. Did see some. Saw a little white.
Raul struck out his first time up, 0 for 1. Hooked that one foul, and it's 1-1. Let's take another look, Sarge.
Coming in there, there's the backhand.
All right, he has it. It's tough to tell. It looks like it's probably in his glove at that. Yeah, it's in his glove, and he's still squeezing it, but it's close.
What a great shot that is, to be able to see whether or not he called it. But for the fans, that's how difficult it is for the umpires, and they don't get a second look.
Mike Riley, the third base umpire, was the one who went out and made the call. There's Mike. He's the crew chief. If Manny was out there, I don't know if Manny would have caught that ball.
Well, first of all, he's going to play that on a bounce, because he's not going to want to dive for it. Yeah, and he's more of an offensive player as opposed to defense.
Good hitters count for Ibanez, 3-1. Raul since the All-Star break is one of the best hitters in the league, hitting .383 with 4 home runs and 18 RBIs. And he's also walked a lot, and he walks again. 2 aboard here in the fourth. First time tonight the Phillies have had 2 base runners on.
Well, that walking helps out your on-base percentage and also the average.
Well, from Lehigh Valley tonight, he's still wearing number 16, and Shane Victorino is still running well. There's a roller into the corner, and Shane can run for a triple, and now a home run in his second at bat. So bring him up. That one's into the bullpen. Shane's scheduled to play 7 innings in tonight's ball game. That's what Harry used to say. Bring him up.
Yeah, well, he looks like he's running and trotting there pretty good. And he's seeing that ball the way that he is there. He's going to help out tremendously. They could use a little more offense here.
That home run, by the way, by Victorino also helped out the Iron Pigs. It ended a 19 2/3 inning scoreless streak for the Iron Pigs.
Wow. I know he's doing some chirping and getting that streak over with. He will not be lost for words. I can guarantee you that. He will keep them loose.
Think he's standing next to Dave Huppert in the dugout talking to him?
Well, Hub already knows him and will tell him to get to the other end, I'm sure.
2-0 the count to Jason Worth. Phillies have a little threat going here in the bottom of the fourth.
Hitters count. You know, and the way that he has been swinging here lately, you know, for me, I'm going to take 3-1 and hope to get that same pitch. It's 3-0 right now, so I'm going to just take this one, but I'm going to take it, though, like I'm going to hit it. You know, just don't want to give up on it, and Charlie does let these guys swing 3-0, as you know.
I think it's exactly what he was doing there. He wasn't going to swing, but he was going to get in good position.
Good fastball, too, right at 91-92.
Banez over at first. You just saw Polanco leading off second. Outside ball four. The bases are loaded. I think it's going to come out. Here he comes up the stairs. And he wants to talk to Billingsley because he has lost his arm slot against these last couple of hitters. That's what we saw during the postseason. He had trouble repeating his delivery. Walked a couple of guys that game in 2008 when he allowed the 8 runs in 2 1/3.
Now, once he got behind Jason Worth there, he started to pitch a little bit more carefully to him. And 3-1, Jason wasn't going to give in with a fastball middle in.
Hey, meet two keys to the Birds' 2010 running attack. Leonard Weaver and LaShawn McCoy. Give us their take on the Eagles' offense. And new QB Kevin Cobb and more with Meet the Eagles Sunday night at 10:30 following Sports Night only on Comcast Sports Night. Now the Phillies have the bases loaded. Polanco's at third. Ibanez is at second. Wirth's at first. And the rookie Dominic Brown is at the plate. One out here in the bottom of the fourth. And Dominic takes one at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. I think Dominic may have been taken all the way there just to make Billingsley throw a strike.
I thought he thought that was low.
Think so?
If I'm going up there now, bases loaded, I'm going to be trying to zone and get a fastball and then let it go.
So in his eyes, that pitch missed, but in the eyes of the umpire, it didn't.
He thought probably it was low.
Well, now he has to be a little more defensive because it's 0-2.
Now Billingsley coming right at him with fastballs. He'll try and come out of the zone, or he'll try and throw that little slider that he ended up striking him out on, or the cutter in.
Up high, it's 1-2. Billingsley, over his last 4 starts, and this includes tonight, no runs, or excuse me, 3 runs in 30 2/3 innings. So he's been dealing lately. Phillies are trying to break that open right here. 1-2 the count to Brown. Hit on the ground softly towards second. Theriot's got it. There's one. They're not going to turn 2, and the Phillies have the lead. It's an RBI for Dominic Brown. 1-0 Phillies.
Hey, you give credit all the way around right there. Team effort on that RBI. Jason Worth, as you see him coming in, giving high five. They know what it means to break up a double play. Dominic Brown, there's that speed. Now he gets by him. Now look how he goes in and just disrupts him. He knows he's not going to be able to turn that. Definitely.
That's the key, what you just said. He gets by him because then Theriot couldn't tag and throw.
Exactly. No, it's up to the runner to read that play, and that ball hit softly where he just could not come and get it. Dominic Brown, good speed.
Theriot working with Jamie Carroll up the middle. Ibanez leads off third. The Phillies looking for some more. They have good speed at first in Brown.
Take another look at this as Jason goes in. As long as he can touch that bag, he's fine. You see the legs going out on him. That he didn't want to throw it, take a chance on maybe throwing it away, and then cost the team another run. Good play on his part just to hold it. Got a little late on a fastball there. That's how you can tell sometimes when hitters are a little bit tired because they would be late on the fastball. This fastball very hittable, however, 91-92. Gets up to about 95 plus. So anybody can be late on those except in that hitting count. 2-0, 2-1, and 3-1.
In the air to right or left center field. Over is Pasendic. It's playable, and he makes the catch. So the side is retired. The Phillies have to settle for just one, getting the bases loaded with one man down, but they scored first. We go to the fifth. The Phillies are up 1-0. To the top of the fifth, and every time the Phillies retire the opposing team in order, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, high-speed internet, and home phone. And so far, Roy Oswalt has retired the Dodgers in order 2 different times. As we begin the fifth, it'll be Jamie Carroll, A.J. Ellis, and Chad Billingsley. As Oswalt works with a 1-0 lead. And joining us now is Officer Steve Brennan, who is at the PAL headquarters here in Philadelphia. And Steve, it's nice to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate that.
You know, Steve has been part of the PAL program for, was it 17 years?
Yeah, going to my 17th year.
17 years. I mean, that's an amazing impact that you've had on the kids here in Philadelphia.
Well, it's been a pleasure for me as well, from a police officer standpoint, and seeing these kids grow up in the inner city and have some of the advantages that PAL offers. It's a pleasure at the end of the day.
Well, we've seen the effects that PAL has had on the kids in the city. We've also seen the effects that PAL Night has had on the program, too. I mean, it's been unbelievable over the years.
Oh, it's been incredible. We are in our, I believe, our 32nd year, and raised a lot of money this evening. I believe around $30,000, which is going to go directly towards the kids, the program for the kids.
3-2 the count to Jamie Carroll. Now, you were at a couple of the centers for a number of years. You were at the West Oak Lane Center. Now you're at PAL headquarters.
That's correct.
How has your role changed going from the centers to now at headquarters?
From the day-to-day operations of dealing directly with the kids at the various PAL centers running programs, I'm now the external events coordinator. So just with my knowledge of what the program needs, I'm able to do it on the other end as well. And I still get a chance to get out in the field and meet the kids, which is always a pleasure.
And be part of all the programs that PAL undertakes too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What's the age limit on that?
Well, we are 6 to 18 years of age.
Oh, great.
We started at 6 and then all the way up to 18 years of age.
And each of the centers, correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, has a full-time police officer that's part of the activities during the course of the day. Is that true?
That's correct. All of our PAL centers, we have 26 PAL centers throughout the city of Philadelphia, and each PAL center has a full-time police officer assigned, and their job is to direct that center and run the programs, whether it be a basketball league, whether it be an after-school homework tutoring program, or what have you. That is their job, their responsibility. A.J.
Ellis fouls the pitch off and is in the hole. No balls at 2 strikes. And Sarge, the impressive thing is all of the athletic programs and the after-school programs that PAL has. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I'd have to think it's a big deal for sure, and especially with that homework and along with, basketball, because a lot of the kids, all of them aren't able to play on regular teams at school. So this is an alternative, and keeping kids, let's face it, off the street is just a good thing.
That one misses, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Steve, tell us about some of the programs during the course of the year that you're proudest of when it comes to PAL.
Well, there's a variety of them. It's like there's so many good ones. But I'm probably say our basketball program has been around for so many years, sponsored by Fitz-Dixon. And to see the kids out there competing, and like you said, Sarge, some of these kids don't have the opportunity to play on school teams. So we give them kids an opportunity to play and to participate and get out there. So it's pretty exciting to see the kids, actually get together, some team camaraderie, and they build and they grow and they learn. That's the fun thing.
Now, you have tournaments at the end of the year against each of the centers. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct. We just finished actually our baseball league. During the course of the summer, we have a baseball program, which encompasses all the PAL centers from 10 years of age up to 14 years of age, and they'll play against the other PAL centers throughout the city of Philadelphia.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty competitive, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, with 1 out, here's Chad Billingsley and a runner on second here at the top of the 5th. Phillies lead at 1-0, and Roy Oswald's trying to keep it that way. And Billingsley, he's swinging away. As the corners were pitching in, he fouls it off, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Now, sports play a big role, but that's not it, right? It's not just sports.
No, sports gets them in the door.
Yeah.
And then we take it further. We introduce them to the PAL Challenge game, which is like a Jeopardy Family Feud sort of educational game. We introduce them to the 24 math game. We give them computers to work on after school, work on school projects, help them out with their homework. And then we provide scholarships when they go off on to college. So it's a win-win all the way around.
That's the part I would think that for you and the rest of the officers, when you see a youngster move on to college with the scholarship, that's got to make you feel good to see the progress that they've made over the years.
Oh, it's an incredible feeling that you watch this young man or young woman grow from, say, 6 years of age, and they're doing well in high school, and they get a PAL scholarship. And the one nice thing is when they come back, and the entire cycle kind of repeats itself, which that gives you a good feeling, and all the officers across the board.
Well, the count is now no balls and 2 strikes to Billingsley. Saw Jamie Carroll leading off second. He led off this inning with a double. Roy Oswald has had some base runners to deal with during the course of this outing. About to throw his 70th pitch of the night. And it's a breaking ball, and it's a dandy. A call, strike 3.
Now, that's after all those fastballs inside. Just buckled his knees. No chance. He started that up high, and that's that slow curveball that he throws. Very effective.
Well, since 1947, PAL has helped youngsters overcome challenges and enhance their skills in free, safe, and fun environments. We said, and Officer Brennan told us this also, 26 PAL centers that serve more than 25,000 girls and boys around the city. As Pasenik takes a pitch high, and we mentioned that there's a full-time officer at each of the centers. How does an officer get involved in the PAL program?
Well, coming from patrol, you have to put in a transfer request, and you have to love working with kids. You have to have the desire, and once you get approved for your transfer, you come in for an interview, and then you're assigned to the Police Athletic League. And the interesting part is when the officers get assigned to PAL, they never leave. They love what they do, so they stay. Like myself.
Did you think you were going to stay when you started?
Absolutely. I knew. Absolutely. It's a passion of mine, and it's like other officers as well.
Now, do any of the kids that are in the program want to become officers after they've gone through the program, or do they just go on off and go on to college? And I know you said you got a large alumni, but are any of them officers or want to be officers?
Oh, it's funny you mentioned that, sir. Absolutely. They try to emulate the officer at the PAL Center. And they look at him and they start modeling themselves after the officer. And a lot of them go on to the police academy and become police officers and actually come back to the police athletically.
Well, that's good, too, because you could pass on the legacy of what the program has been doing to others that are younger and can take it over as the years move on, too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, it's been great, the relationship between the Phillies and the PAL. And as Steve mentioned, as that chopper's hit back toward the middle, tough play. Jimmy's got it. Off balance throw, not in time. Pasednik still runs really well. And there are runners on first and third now for Ryan Theriot.
Yeah, that's probably one of the only runners he would not get. He's from that left side. One of the reasons he's able to get there a little quicker besides running, all he's trying to do is put that ball in play. J-Ro makes a fine play of it, but you can see he's slowing down as he gets to the bag. Just shows you the speed this leadoff hitter has, and he does have speed and will still likes to run.
Jimmy did all he could, but 2 outs, and now Roy Oswalt will deal with Ryan Theriot. Well, all of this with the Philadelphia PAL is part of Cops Helping Kids, and we invite you all to go to phillypal.com. You can adopt a center, make a contribution, see what some of the needs are, because we talk sports because we're in the sports world. But obviously, as Steve mentioned, the impact that the police officers have had here in Philadelphia is not only about sports, but it's about education, too.
That's correct. Absolutely. Education is key. To see these kids move on and become successful, you have to have both components. And we look at it as, sports and education. It's a winning combination, but you got to have both.
Did you ever sit there and say, okay, I can get the sports part down. It's the education part that I've got to make sure I push a little bit more?
You have to. We don't want to kind of push them because then push them away.
Right.
We want to encourage them, and we do encourage them, and then they buy into it because it's important.
1-1 the count to Ryan Theriot. Are there needs, Steve, that PAL has at this moment, even as successful as it's been over the years, and we talk about donations that they're important? Is there services that are needed from the community as well?
No question. We encourage all volunteers to come forward, stop by a PAL Center, and offer it. If you can give us a half hour a week, an hour a week, whatever it is, it's very important to have an extra set of eyes and ears, an adult figure from that community who knows the kids and can become part of the program.
And kind of relate to the kids because the kids have seen them around, so it'll be comfortable for them to be in the program, too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It means a lot.
Well, it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Ryan Theriot. Theriot tonight is 1 for 2. He's singled. He's also grounded out. And Oswalt steps over to third and fakes over to first. Just checking Pasednik out to see what he's thinking.
Well, he'll run any time he gets a jump. Theriot, an inside-out hitter, meaning that he stays usually through the ball, hits a lot of balls to right field.
Change up low, 2-1. Well, we mentioned that Officer Brennan has been part of PAL for 17 years. And what's this tattoo? You got a PAL tattoo also? Did the kids talk you into doing that or
no,
something?
Actually, you know what? It was just, PAL has been such a big part of my life and my family's life. And I think I'll live this forever. PAL will be with me for the rest of my life.
Do you get the sense that the other officers that are involved that most feel the same way?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's when you come, like I said, when you come here, you have the desire to work with kids, and you want to see the children grow up and be successful and be part of their lives. And it's when a police officer is able to do that, it changes entire communities.
Over to shortstop. Jimmy Rollins has got it. Short way to second. The side is retired. Steve, best of luck. We appreciate you coming up. It's always a great night here at the ballpark.
Thanks for having me, Sergeant.
Thanks for coming.
It's Officer Steve Brennan for the Philadelphia PAL. It's PAL night here in Philadelphia at Citizens Bank Park. And the Phils up 1-0. August 23rd at 7:05. Hey, that second game, that's a great giveaway. It's the Win Street Carlos Ruiz bobble figurine. And next homestand, we'll bring one of those out so you can see what it looks like. But again, get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. Phillies and the Astros. A whole lot of former Phils on that Astros club. We start the home fifth. Phillies lead it 1-0. They have only managed 2 hits against Chad Billingsley.
Well, he's pitching pretty good. I mean, he's been around the plate. Some movement there. He ran into trouble this last inning. That's what you're hoping, that he can get into predictable counts. 2-0, 2-1, maybe 3-1, where you can get that fastball that's out over the plate. Yeah, the key is, though, when you get it, you want to square that ball up and not foul it back.
Valdez showed bunt. It was just to distract Billingsley, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Roy Oswalt waits on deck. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Cardinals defeated the Reds 6-1 as Adam Wainwright earned his 17th victory. He's now 17-6. And this was on the heels of what looked like one of the worst brawls that baseball has had in quite some time. There weren't a whole lot of punches thrown last night, but it got really ugly in a very precarious spot behind home plate. As Valdez hits it in the air to left center field. That's pretty well hit. Pasetnik on the run. He's not going to get there. A one hop off the top of the wall. Watch Valdez go. Heading to third. He'll be stopped there. It's a leadoff triple. His third of the year. And the Phillies have an extra run 90 feet away.
Boy, that ball was just smoked. Pasetnik going over center fielder. He almost started to dive. There it is again there. You can see this ball. It's hit hard. There's Pasetnik right there in your picture. Well, Fields catch a break because it didn't bounce out. Valdez going around. Stands up. He starts to go and says, whoa, as he'll take that triple.
Wilson Valdez safe and secure at third. Safe and secure. New York Life. Joe Torre is wondering if a fan deflected the ball and knocked it away from Pasetnik and Jay Gibbons. That's why he was going out there. There was a fan in the vicinity, but that hit the corner of the wall just next to the State Farm logo, and that's what caused it to shoot toward the 409 side.
Yeah, well, give Gibbons credit for coming over, cut it up. Now he reaches over, but that ball's gone by him right there.
It was by all three of them.
Gibbons is going to retract that ball. Lucky he picked it up. He had a kick that would have been an inside the park home run.
Well, now Oswalt with the infield in.
It's done a long way from the plate.
Slow roller towards shortstop. Carroll's got it. Valdez freezes at third. And one away.
Pretty good pitch. That was a slider. Started him off with a fastball. Infield in. We'll see if infield in again, in which they will. See if they're going to go on contact, which means any place he hits the ball, that runner at third is just going to take off. That is decided from the manager in the dugout.
And that just wasn't the spot to go on contact.
Oh, no, you can't go there. You're a dead duck if you run on that one right at home plate.
Well, plus you have the top of the order due up, and you're expecting that you can get that run home from third some way. Oh, the infield is in, and they're not going to get it home there. As Theriot throws out Rollins, 2 away. Now the burden falls on Placido Polanco.
See Jimmy saying how he should have went that way. For me, in that situation, if I can, I want to try and get a ball that I can lift. See, it was a pretty good pitch, though, but his hips open up. Ball on the outside corner, which was tailing away. Only thing he can do is hit a ground ball on that.
Unfortunately, he didn't hit it that hard, so it couldn't sneak past the infield.
Oh, no. It was on the end of the bat. Or if he's going the other way and solid there, maybe he hits a ball to left field.
Valdez led off the inning with a triple. Career best 3 triples this season for Wilson. He's hit career highs in a number of categories.
Yeah, home runs too. You know, all these runs that you leave on third base, not left there as of yet. Polanco has a chance to get him in, but he's got to get a hit to do it. More runs that you can get when you don't have to have a hit, the better it is for your club. Less pressure. Got to have patience, though, when you're at the plate and you have runners on scoring position. I've always thought pressure on the pitcher.
Even with 2 outs, pressure on the pitcher?
Well, yeah. You still got to throw a strike. Still got to be in the right location. You start to get to your, the middle of that lineup, guys that can handle that bat a little bit better. And a guy like Polanco obviously can.
In the air to left field, Gibbons has plenty of room. He'll just sit and wait. And the Phillies strand a runner at third. Wilson Valdez's leadoff triple is wasted here in the bottom of the 5th. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We go to the 6th with Andre Ethier leading it off. The plate. His offensive production has risen in all areas, including clutch hits when his team has needed them the most. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Top of the 6th, the Phillies lead it 1-0. A combined 8 hits between the two teams and 1 run. A night after there was a combined 22 runs and 30 hits between the two teams in a game which the Dodgers won 15-7 last night.
Yeah, well, they had their hitting shoes on today, pitching a little bit better here tonight.
Or I should say 15-9. So many runs I lost track. Andre Ethier leads it off. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Ethier. He's 0 for 2. He has struck out and fly to center. On the hands, a looper toward third. Polanco, he read it nicely. 1 away.
Boy, right on his tongue. What a pitch there by Oswalt. First pitch fastball away. Then he throws one right on his hands. This guy's a pretty good hitter. Get that fastball in on him. He usually looks for it. Check out that location, though, as it comes in. Bam, right off of the fist there. Got it right down by the label, below the label.
Here's Loney with 1 out. Loney's 1 for 2. He doubled his first time up. Tonight's outing is similar for Oswalt to his last outing. Walks aside because he walked 4 in the game against the Marlins, but he was pretty efficient. He just kind kind of wore out, ran out of gas in the 7th inning.
Gave the team a chance to be able to win, in which they did end up winning. He didn't get the win. They won that game 5-4. But that's all that starting pitcher can do.
Well, his changeup has been outstanding tonight.
Taking it off that curve ball that he's thrown. The fastball sets up everything else.
Back-to-back changeups, and it's 2-1 to Loney.
But still, though, puts pressure on a pitcher, knowing that, well, I just can't make a mistake. Team's not scoring a lot of runs, and Billingsley doing a pretty good job himself. You know, that series, though, St. Louis and the Cardinals there, Tom, I thought the St. Louis had a little bit more energy. And I think for sure that just because of some of the things that Brandon Phillips said, like he didn't like the St. Louis Cardinals, and among other things, well, put a little fire on. Good pitch.
Change up, swung on a miss, 2 away. What Sarge alluded to is what happened last night between the Cardinals and the Reds. Just as the bottom of the first was getting underway, Brandon Phillips, who had said he doesn't like the Cardinals. In fact, he has no friends on the Cardinals. Well, he came over, tapped Yadier Molina on the shin guard as Oswalt delivers this changeup.
Good pitch.
And after that, the bench is cleared. A lot of pushing and shoving all the way back to the screen. The managers argued. And as Sarge said, the Cardinals certainly had the most energy of the two teams. And I thought you brought up a good point earlier today, Sarge, where you said the Cardinals were the veteran team and they seem to respond to the altercation way better than the Reds did.
Well, you have a lot of younger players on the Cincinnati Reds, and I know Brandon Phillips, he can handle what he said, but some of the younger players might have been a little bit too much pressure on. But the starting pitching, though, that St. Louis had with Wainwright and along with Carpenter, I mean, they're just, I mean, they can beat anybody at any time.
Chad Fairchild didn't think that curve came over the plate. Seemed like the rest of the Phillies did. 1-2 the count to Casey Blake. Well, because of all what happened at Cincinnati, everything that happened, and this is what happened last night. Brandon Phillips tapped Yadier Molina. Molina said, "Hey, don't tap me. You don't have any friends with the Cardinals."
Yeah, well, at that time, there goes a little pushing there. Carpenter sitting all the way back. But you notice, though, not a lot of punches are being thrown at all.
That's still
more
dangerous, though.
Still just pushing and so on. You know when it becomes dangerous? If you're on the bottom.
That's true. Swing and a miss. Blake is down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Oswalt. How about 95 on the gun with that last pitch? 1-2-3 go the Dodgers here at the top of the 6th. Oswalt has a 1-run lead, and he is dealing right now as he takes this ball game into the bottom of the 6th. Midsize sports sedan. Suzuki, the power of engineering. By McDonald's. Try McDonald's new Angus snack wraps. Everything you love about the Angus burgers in a wrap for just $1.99. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Toyota. There are many reasons to buy a Toyota, and now's the perfect time to get yours during Toyota's national clearance event. Ross Globe leads off the bottom of the sixth, and Billingsley throws one of the few hooks that he's thrown tonight. And he throws it for a strike. We begin the sixth. Billingsley's thrown 82 pitches. The fourth inning was his problem inning. But he settled down after allowing a leadoff triple in the fifth. And now is ahead of Glode. No balls and 2 strikes. Saw Ryan Howard again today walking around the clubhouse. He seems to be moving around a little bit better.
That's still going to take a little time, I'm sure. But when he's able to just, feel good, be able to move on it, because remember, he's got a hit on his leg, run on it.
Line drive down the right field line. That's a base hit. Heading to the corner. Glows around first. He's going to get at least 2 out of this one. Sam Perlaza puts up the stop sign, and Ross Gload is hurt. He came up lame about 3/4 of the way between first and second as he glanced over at Sam Perlaza. And man, have the Phillies been snake bitten.
Oh boy, you're talking about a guy here that is just really giving them a lift, and you can tell exactly. I don't know if it's his quad in the top or the hammy, but he actually, you can see how he's limping there. Could be a groin.
I think it might be the groin.
Won't speculate. We'll get the call, but we know one thing, that he's going to have to come out, and you hate it. Now watch when he's coming. Now he's looking to get that sign, and when you get that, it's like you're just shot, and you can see right there where and you can't move hardly at all after that as he struggles to get into second base, and you can see the pain. He's grimacing as he's coming into the bag. And I'm telling you, just seeing the ball as good as anyone, hitting the ball to left, 2 home runs last night. And it's been going on for whatever reason. Seems like the fighting Bills have had more than their share of injuries. Take a look at it.
Look at his face. Watch right there. That is painful just to watch. Phillies have used 40 different players this year, which equals what they used last year and the year before. Mike Sweeney will come on, a pinch run for Ross Globe. Think about that, Sarge. 40 players.
It's unbelievable.
By August 11th, and there haven't been any call-ups. Last year there were September call-ups that added to that list.
And the other thing, though, for where the club is right now, the way that they've been playing, and with all of the injuries, a lot of clubs, and along with that New York club, when they have their injuries, they just went the other way. These guys have been able to stay right there and play really consistent ball. And one guy has just picked up the other guy once you've had an injury.
Well, Ibanez is trying to pick up where Glode left off and drive in Mike Sweeney. For a 17-game hitting streak. It's his career high.
He's somewhat of an inside-out hitter. He can pull the ball, but again, for me, I just want him to be solid there. He's been swinging the bat good, so wherever he hits it, he hits it. He can get over on a deep fly ball. Don't want him to start to change something different since he has been hitting over the last week or so, several weeks, I should say.
It's that one hard toward left center field. Pasendik on the run. He's not going to get it. It splits the gap, but one hop off the wall. Sweeney's around third, heading for home. An RBI double for Ibanez. It's an 18-game hitting streak, and the Phillies lead it 2-0.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Don't want him to actually just try and pull that ball in the hole because you change your mechanics. I don't think anybody's as happy as that Mike Sweeney in that dugout. As you take a look at him, now Roy Oswalt will be happy too. He smokes this ball going into left center as it gets up there on the wall. They catch another break. Didn't even go out Passetti not able to run that ball down. It stays in, and at that time, Sweetie is hustling around to score. Good double by Baglia.
And he's safe and secure at second, safe and secure with New York Life. So 2-0 Phillies. Here's Jason Worth with a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the 6th. Jason, boy, he got a hanger. He got a ball that he would love to get back, a cutter out over the plate. And he had a pretty good rip at it. Jason's really picked it up offensively since the All-Star break. He hit a speed bump in Florida. But came back home swinging.
For whatever reason, he wasn't able to pick up the ball. He just didn't see the ball the way that he normally sees it. Picking the ball out of their hand when it was coming over, and consequently, I mean, he was swinging like he didn't see it. Evident of all the strikeouts that he had there. I mean, he does strike out, but, you know, 7, 8 in a row, that's a little much.
Opposite way, it's going to get the runner over to third. Jason wanted a little bit more, but he did his job. He got Ibanez to third with less than 2 outs.
I got to tell you, that is one heck of a job to be able to hit that pitch that was thrown to the opposite side. Puts more pressure again on Billingsley. He wanted to get that hit and have it go through, but if you're going to make it out, for him on that side, that was just what you wanted.
Dominic Brown's 0 for 2. He had an RBI his last time up on a ground out. Dodgers play the infield halfway with Ibanez at third. They'll be back into the seats.
Now look at this pitch there as it comes in. He stays right there on it, but look where his eyes are and look which way he's trying to hit the ball. That's classic right there, and hitting the ball to right field. Checking to see whether or not he broke his back, or look at the dent where it was.
Rob DiClemente, Fat Boy, taking a peek as well, trying to help out. Extra set of eyes. 0-1 the count to Dominic.
Tough pitch to lay off of. He's doing a good job there so far. Well, the one thing that he does do, he's able to regroup. I mean, it's been difficult to get him out the same way. Guys are throwing him fastball in. He made an adjustment. He does like the low pitch.
He's worked his count ahead, 2-1. A.J. Ellis out to the mound and talked to Billingsley.
Well, you see he's trying to tease him, trying to get him to swing at a bad pitch. Dominic Brown so far showed pretty good knowledge of the strike zone. That's what it takes to be a good hitter.
Sarge, is there a left-hander that you can remember that wasn't a low ball hitter? I mean, most are low ball hitters, aren't they?
Well, they really are. You know, and now that I think about it, just about all of them were low ball hitters, or good low ball hitters.
Now, some could hit the high pitch, but their preference was low.
Well, I know Willie McCovey didn't like to swing at that high pitch. He'd always liked that low fastball. That's a good eye. See if he wants to just go right at him or try and trick him. If he's going to trick him, it's going to be with all speed. If he feels he has his good stuff, maybe wants to dance, he's going to throw that fastball. See what he throws. Fastball, and it was a cutter. That one, 87, is true fastball, though, a little bit harder than that. cutter acts as if it's a slider, which is going to break in to the left-handed hitter. A little bit harder than the slider. He just missed that. Hit that ball real hard somewhere. That's why I say the pressure again for me is always on that pitcher, because you have this situation 3-2. He has to throw a strike. Although he can throw a ball and trick the hitter, he can swing at a bad pitch, but for the most part, it's got to be around that dish somewhere.
3-2 with one out. And he fights off another one. Yeah, there are youngsters that come up that sometimes are overmatched, and you can see it. Dominic Brown hasn't looked overmatched offensively.
No, not at all. And even against some of the left-handers that we've seen him face, you know, he's done a pretty good job on that.
This is the 9th pitch of the at-bat against Dominic Brown. And the 99th of the night for Billingsley. What an at-bat.
I can't tell you how great an at-bat that was for a young kid. And that's what I'm talking about, knowing the strike zone. No panic at all in his face when you're looking at him up there at the plate. That's how you can tell really a true, pretty good hitter that you have coming up.
Well, here's Carlos. He fouled out to the right side his first time up, and then flied out to Pasednik to fairly deep left center his last time up. Certainly deep enough to score Ibanez if he were able to do it again.
Yeah.
In the air to left field. That's deep. Is it fair or foul? Hooking toward the pole. It is a foul ball.
Oh, boy.
You could just see what's left the bat. It was hooking.
Well, there's that slider. You can see that little bit of a dot there, and I mean, he gets up on it and drills that ball as it's hooking. Well, fouled by plenty. At the distance, however.
Curveball chopped right over the head of Ibanez. And McKenzie will hand that ball off to a young fan. McKenzie just made her night.
Hey, the guys are really having solid at-bats at the plate.
Well, Carlos, you see his percentage with runners on third and less than 2 outs. He's got Ibanez at third, Brown at first.
It's a big ball game, too. Atlanta's already won 8-2 tonight.
Little looper toward left field. Gibbons coming in. He's there. Ibanez tags to draw the throw. That's a heck of a throw.
Yeah.
He wasn't that deep, but he still had a lot on it.
Well, we talk about balance at the plate. Ruiz a little bit off balance. We'll give credit to Billingsley. Pretty good pitch. Breaking ball that he threw.
So it's left up to Wilson Valdez. Not sure whether it's going to be left up to him or not.
Well, again, too, this Wilson, he's not afraid to bunt the ball or to push the ball. We've seen him do that before. Okay, he's improved himself at the plate, you know, in terms of swinging at strikes. See what he's doing with 2 outs, runners in scoring position.
as he said today, he always did it in the minor leagues and in winter ball. He said this year has assured him that he could do it in the big leagues.
It's a confidence. Confidence plays an important role in being the type of player that you would like to be.
Back in the fourth, Billingsley threw 27 pitches. He's about to throw his 25th of this inning. That's why Octavio Dotel is loosing in the pen for the Dodgers. Phillies lead it 2-0. They've stranded 2 runners in third tonight. And they've got another one out there with 2 outs. Chopper left side. Blake has got it. And the side is retired. The Phillies have to settle for 1 on the RBI double by Raul Ibanez. They strand 2. We go to the 7th here at South Philadelphia. The Phils 2, the Dodgers nothing. Pretty good swing right there by Raul Ibanez to extend his hitting streak to 18 games and give the Phillies a 2-0 lead. That's where it stands as we go to the 7th. And Roy Oswalt delivers a changeup for a strike to Jay Gibbons. And it's 0-1. It's almost as if Oswalt at times is pitching backwards tonight against the Dodgers, but doing so with a really good fastball.
Oh, you
that
have
one
to
right there.
Yeah, you have to have a fastball to be able to do that stuff. And I think he's had a good fastball since the first inning. His location's been a lot better tonight too. He's had good stuff the whole game.
Yeah, he is, by pitching backwards, meaning that he's throwing some of his off-speed pitches, the changeup mostly, or the curveball first to kind of set up the fastball.
Here's the Verizon Wireless game summary. Phillies with a couple runs, should have 4 runs in this game. They left a couple guys out there at third base with less than 2 outs. And Dodgers also have had some scoring chances tonight, and Roy Oswalt has shut the door, especially early in the game when they had some really good chances.
Well, now he's retired 5 in a row. By the way, they've just updated the injury on Ross Glode. It's a left groin strain. It did seem like it was the groin as he was looking over Sam Perlazzo going between first and second. Well, Charlie and the coaching staff have had to deal with a number of injuries this year. It looks like they'll be dealing with another one.
It's unbelievable. This is just getting ridiculous. And there's another guy who's smoking hot too, and doing such a great job. Ross Glode, and now he's gone, and those injuries, who knows?
Wonder if that'll speed up Shane Victorino coming back. Although they'll probably need to find somebody else to help out at first base, so they have Greg Dobbs who can do that. 2-0 the count to Jamie Carroll. Carroll tonight is 1 for 2. He doubled his last time up.
Here it is. He's taking, as Tom said, taking a look over at Sam Perlazzo, and right about there, the sniper got him. About 3/4 of the way down. That's a baseball term for when you see a guy have that happen to him. And, oh, man. What a shame. That guy was swinging the bat, too. Power, extra base hits, and playing terrific first base.
A night like this, when you have a 2-0 lead, you'd like to have a guy like that out there at first base.
Yeah.
There's a strike to Carroll. It's 3-1.
Faced so many more right-handers, too, you know, for his offense. But, oh, well, you know, this was a nice pickup having Mike Sweeney here. On 64, and the Phillies, of course, you know, didn't win the pennant that year. They used 9 or 10 different first basemen.
Well, with that walk, which is just the second tonight for Oswalt, it'll bring A.J. Ellis to the plate. By the way, Wheels, the Phillies did get good news on Chase Utley today. He was up in New York getting his thumb looked at, and he has been cleared to begin what Scott Sheridan, the Phillies athletic trainer, has described as hitting progressions, which means that he can start hitting at, you know, basically at Chase's pace, which is good news. It means that the thumb is healing. Whether it's ahead of schedule or not, who knows? Scott didn't know that earlier today, but it's good news that he can sort of change his activities and not only take grounders and run, but, you know, maybe take some swings.
Sure is good news. Anything's good news like that to get Chase Utley back. They have an all right-handed hitting bench to the Dodgers, and Matt Kemp is in the on-deck circle to bat for Billingsley.
Opposite way, and Dominic Brown makes the catch. Carroll was lingering a little farther than he probably would like off the first base bag, but he gets back, and there are 2 outs. And here comes Matt Kemp. So 2 away here in the first. Well, the Florida Marlins are going to help kick off the month of September here at the ballpark. A day-night doubleheader on Monday, September 6th. First game's at 1:05. The second game, a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night, is at 7:05. And Tuesday and Wednesday, both 7:05 starts. Get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. A meeting at the mound between Jimmy Rollins, Roy Oswalt, and Carlos Ruiz. Matt Kemp has been introduced as a pinch hitter. Oswalt has looked really comfortable tonight, too. Just the way his presence is out there, his tempo. I mentioned before his last outing against the Marlins. He looked pretty good at times. But tonight he's looked even better. And he delivers a fastball at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1.
Manages pitch count a lot better tonight, too. He's deep into the 7th inning now. That kid used to be a catcher, and they turned him into a pitcher. Jansen, he throws pretty hard. From Curacao.
He's got a very odd number that he's wearing out there, Wheels. 74.
Probably his spring training number.
Kind of number you'd be wearing if you were doing a baseball movie. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Matt Kemp, normally the Dodgers' everyday center fielder. He has not put together consistent enough at bats for Joe Torre to put him out there. And Oswalt is ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Just see by the expressions on the fans' face that they like what they have seen tonight.
Oh, man.
Great reactions from behind home plate.
Well, just, yeah, you know, I guess it obviously missed the plate. It must have been inside, but Oswalt really makes his pitch here because he's trying to come in there and freeze
That's
him.
a good pitch. Boy, that's a good pitch.
What was that?
I don't know.
He didn't move it. I don't know. That looked like a strike.
Breaking ball, topped foul right past Larry Boa.
back with a breaking ball away after running that fastball in on Kemp. Let's see what they decide to do here now. The Oswald's last inning, you would think. He's up to 108 pitches. I think he put fastball away down there, Chief.
It is a fastball away, cut out and missed at 94 miles an hour. Kept the pinch hitters down swinging. The preacher was talking pretty loud back there, and Roy Oswald was responding. He strands a runner at first here at the top of the 7th. It's time to stretch here in Philadelphia, and what a night it's been for Roy Oswald, his home debut. For most consecutive games played.
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I do.
Yes, you do.
Most consecutive. Billy Williams.
Playing the Dodgers, Wheels.
Playing the Dodgers, right. Garvey?
A reverse bell.
I got it.
You did.
Why'd they buzz me?
I think they anticipated.
Oh. Well, when you said the Dodgers, I'm trying to think who their Iron Man was.
Wes Westrom.
It was Steve Garvey, right? Yeah, boy, he's hard to get out of that lineup.
Yes, he was. Log back on thephillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans.
He's a little bit away from Gehrig, huh?
A little bit. But, I remember at the time, I mean, he was obviously before Ripken, as Kenley Jansen is into his 7th ball game for the Dodgers. He has 6 scoreless innings so far. At the time, people were saying, all right, well, who's the closest one to Lou Gehrig? Well, it's Steve Garvey.
Right.
But he was nowhere near Lou Gehrig.
No.
There was a correlation because both were first basemen.
1,200.
Well, Greg Dobbs is going to pinch hit for Roy Oswald. Oswald gave the Phillies 7 strong innings tonight. 5 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, he was really good. Right out of the chute, you can see Roy Oswald had some good stuff. He got outs on change-ups early. Good fastball. Just did a tremendous. He looked like Roy Oswald. Thankfully, welcome to Philadelphia for your first start.
1 ball and 1 strike. Jansen, as Wheels mentioned, is from Curacao. And Ryan Matson is up and throwing in the bullpen for the Phillies. 6 consecutive scoreless innings over his 6 relief appearances. That's for Jansen. The opposition is just 3 for 20 against him.
I seen him pitch a little bit in the game on Sunday when we got home, and he throws a lot of high fastballs, and he's right around mid-90s guy, a little slider. But a catcher, he has a catcher's arm, couldn't hit much, so they turned him into a pitcher. And here he is in the major leagues.
Well, he has the catcher's arm, but he certainly doesn't have a catcher's body.
No.
I mean, he's 6'6", 260 pounds.
That's a big catcher.
Matt Wieters from the Orioles. Now he's a big catcher. Joe Mauer from the Twins, big catcher. So they do make them big. But this guy's got good size, and he had good numbers in Double-A for the Lookouts down at Chattanooga.
Well, not a whole lot of runs for Roy Oswalt tonight, but you know, he certainly pitched great. He gave up nothing. Trouble in the first, with the second, third inning, got out of those jams, and then pretty much mowed them down after that. And the Phillies could have had 2 more runs, of course, with runners at third and less than 2 outs, didn't get them.
Swinging a foul tip right into the glove of the catcher, A.J. Ellis. 1 away. Well, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Citizens Bank, one of the sponsors of the Philadelphia PAL. Tonight is PAL night here at the ballpark, as Jimmy Rollins stands in.
Our friend Big Ed Ryan was down there in the field before the game with a check presentation representing Citizens Bank.
Normally you see Big Ed if you're watching Phillies games. You can't miss him. No. He's usually behind home plate. Umpiring. He's usually sitting right near the radar gun, which you can see over the shoulder of the gentleman in the pink shirt.
Well, that's Ron Wilson.
That's Ron Wilson.
Ron Wilson, the pink shirt, who was with Coca-Cola for so many years. And then Ed would be that empty seat in that area.
Yeah, he'd be right in that territory. Yeah. You usually see him reacting and trying to get the crowd into the ball game. The other day at the Phillies alumni golf outing, which was a great event, Ed was patrolling the course with Ricky Jordan. They were in charge of the rules. Yeah. Which there really weren't any.
No. Not in a scramble. You just hope everybody's honest. That's all. I've been with groups I've been with in tournaments with groups that can't spell bogey, let alone take one.
Jimmy Rollins with a 1-out single here in the bottom of the 7th. So the Phillies looking for some more, leading it 2-0 on the Toyota Major League scoreboard. The White Sox are shutting out the Twins 3-0. That game's in the bottom of the 5th. What a series that is going to be, because the Central has the Twins back on top. Now they're going back and forth for the last 2 months, and it's going to depend on pitching, but it's also going to depend on if the Twins can sustain the absence of Justin Morneau.
Yeah.
Now, that's a big bat to be out of their lineup, but they are getting unbelievable pitching from Carl Pavano.
We saw him this year and thought, oh, how can he pitch like that? And he was very good here, and he's been, as you said, good all year. Talk about a guy who's pitching backwards. That's what he was doing that day, very effectively.
Well, and now he's starting to pick it up too, and you know is throwing a real heavy fastball. As Polanco takes a fastball for a strike.
A lot of divisions in baseball this year where it's starting to shake out into 2-team races. And now that's one of them. Of course, the Cardinals and the Reds. You know, there's separation involved. You know, the National League East to an extent, but you know the other teams are still close. The Cardinals made a statement, to say the least, sweeping the Reds at home in a 3-game series.
Yeah, the National League. The Cardinals lead the Reds in the division. Braves lead the Phillies by 3. The Padres lead the Giants by 2.5.
Yeah, but what I mean is the third place team in these divisions are, you know, there's separation involved between 1 and 2 and then 3.
Right.
Yankees and the Rays also in the American League.
Although the Red Sox are just 5 out.
They've gained some ground lately.
American League West is, well, I guess in today's terms, is a runaway for the Rangers.
That's the only one.
Rangers 8.5 games up over the LA Angels of Anaheim.
September has great potential for Major League Baseball as far as these races go, and for the wild card. Should be a lot of fun.
It won the count to Polanco.
It's a great time to try and play hit and run. Whether or not the Phillies will do it on the middle infielders, we're just conferring for the Dodgers, Theriot and Carroll, because they're thinking the same thing about, now look, who's going to cover? We're going to watch for the pitch, and we're going to tell each other what it is, and then we're going to decide who's covering. And the reason for you watch for the pitch is one guy covers on fastball, one guy covers on breaking ball, because you have more of a tendency to pull the breaking ball and hit the fastball in another spot. So, you know, that's what they do, and usually it's mouth open, mouth closed, which you can't tell because they'll put the glove up. But they look in, see what the sign is, and then they give each other who's covering.
Jimmy wasn't going on that pitch.
No.
It's fouled off.
So it didn't matter. But they looked in, see Polanco up there with a 2-1 count, and a guy like Rollins. Now, see, they look and see the pitch, and they either give mouth open, mouth closed. That was mouth closed. So it decides on who's covering.
Three and two the count. I was just looking to see if it would change if Theriot would signal instead of Carroll, but it's Carroll that continues to signal.
Yeah, it's normally one guy will do it. The guy that they just feel is better at that, more experience, has a better idea when they see the pitch who should cover. But in this case, it's Carroll.
The toss over, and Jimmy dives back.
And you just saw it again. Now they obviously are going to be giving that to each other on each one of these pitches, but especially now when it's 3-2 and there's a potential that you run on the count.
Closed mouth once again. Jimmy goes in the air to left field. Gibbons on the run over toward the corner. I'm not sure if he's going to get there. He does. He slides, and he made the catch, and Rollins has to hustle back to first. I didn't think he would get there.
And he has made two great plays tonight.
I lost him too as he went into the corner, and the third base umpire made the out call and then the fair call. 2 away.
Polanco got a breaking ball there. They were playing him in the gap in left center. Long run. That's a fair ball by 5 feet and a great play.
So Jimmy remains at first, and here's Mike Sweeney. Sweeney batting for the first time, 3 for 10 in a Phillies uniform. Came on for the injured Ross Glode. Rollins goes, and no throw. Jimmy has stolen another one. 10 for 10 this year. And Ellis really had no chance.
He had a great time to steal, too. You can see Jansen looks like he's a little bit slow to the plate. You know, he's an inexperienced pitcher. See that big high leg kick, and they pick up on that. No chance, as Tom said, and a good time to run because you can get in a scoring position.
25 straight for Jimmy without being caught. One ball and 1 strike to count to Sweeney. Taking a look at the bat. Make sure it's still intact. Jimmy's going to be able to get a pretty good sized lead because the infielders are back to their normal spots. With 2 away and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Sweeney fights it off. Odd to see that number 5 on the back of somebody other than Pat Burrell.
see him next week.
Yep.
Giants come to town with all that great pitching, and Pat Burrell has been playing a lot for them in left field.
Jimmy goes, and Sweeney fouls it off. Too close to take. Casey Blake didn't even break to third.
No, they don't care about going to third on that play. He's holding his ground, make sure he doesn't break for third and leave a huge spot for them to shoot the ball through for an easy RBI. So he's just going to hold his ground there. If there's one out, that's different. He's going to come over there and cover third base and be up a little bit more.
Swing and a miss. A little high cheese, and Sweeney is down on strikes for the final out. No runs, one hit, one man left at scoring position. Phillies have stranded 7 through the first 7 innings. We go to the 8th. They lead it by 2. Jeff now by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And buy your participating Philadelphia area Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com. Well, it's Pal Night here at the ballpark, and the Fanatic has some of the police officers from the Philadelphia Police Athletic League and some of the kids from the centers around Philadelphia joining the Fanatic up on the dugout. What a great night. Another sold-out crowd. 45,000 plus kids from the Police Athletic League all over the ballpark. And about $30,000 raised for the Philadelphia Police Athletic League. Ryan Matson will pick up here in the 8th for Roy Oswalt. 26th ball game for Ryan. And the top of the order is up for the Dodgers.
This, I think, shown his great speed here tonight with 2 infield hits. He's in his mid-30s now, and this guy can still fly. He's hit 2 balls to short, and no play. Well, one was fairly close, and one Jimmy didn't even throw it.
Well, Jimmy made a nice play on the second one, and Plesetnik was able to beat it out.
Yeah.
He's talking to Larry Bowa right now about the speed.
It went a little harder at me.
I think what he was saying to Larry is that there's no way you would have gotten him. And I think Larry would agree with that.
He might respectfully disagree, but he knows Jimmy's right.
I was talking to Larry about Jimmy yesterday, and he said, "How's he doing?" I said, "Well, he's a little sore. His foot's a little sore, but he's really picking it at short." And he goes, "Well, he'll always pick it."
Well, Bo's the first to admit that Jimmy's a lot better player than him. He was, and he was a good player.
One of his favorites. And he was the manager here with the Phillies. And that's it at the knees. It's 3-2 to Plesetnik.
I don't know why this guy keeps bouncing around. I guess you have to see him play a lot to figure it out. But, this is a very good at bat down by 2 runs leading off the inning. 5 pitches.
left field. That's pretty well hit. Ibanez on the run, out to the warning track. It's off the wall. He played it well, but Pasednik, as fast as he is already at second. Pasednik hit 5 homers in the American League this year. He nearly came close to his first home run in the National League, but he has his 9th 3-hit game of the season.
It's 2-leggers and then almost hits a ball out of the ballpark. Madsen 3-2 comes with a fastball, and you know, say, all right, go ahead and hit it. I'm not going to walk you. And he hits it halfway up the wall with the Xfinity sign out there.
Here's Theriot. The corners are in for the Dodgers, or for the Phillies. Theriot tries to slap it the other way, and it slices foul. Another foul, and it's 0-2. Speaking of the Phillies bullpen, last night J.C. Romero, after getting hit around a little bit by the Dodgers, had mentioned that his arm just wasn't feeling right. Charlie Emanuel was asked about that today, and he said, you know, J.C.'s fine. And then J.C. was asked about it today. So, you know what, his arm is fine, and he's still trying to bounce back from his arm surgery from the offseason, but that he is available for tonight's ball game. There's J.C. in the dirt. 1-2. Good play by Carlos to keep that around the area.
Yeah, change up, one of the easier pitches to block, but it's also one, you know, that can fool a catcher, like it can fool a hitter and lift up a little bit early and go through the 5-hole. And Carlos did a really good job of keeping everything down there so it didn't get away from him.
Come inside with that pitch, and it's 2-2. This ball at 91 from Madsen.
A sinker he just threw.
Yep.
We're used to him throwing either four-seamers or cutters.
Pasednik with good speed leads off second. On the outside corner, there's the four-seamer, and he got a little black. One away here in the 8th.
Outstanding pitch by Madsen after a little sinker in. Got his eyes in there and then zipped that fastball right on the outside corner. Great pitch. There you see the fingers on the seams that it's a four-seam fastball right there. Oh, good pitch. Now you really have to watch Pasednik at second.
That's a great shot.
That was tremendous. You can see the way he gripped it and the way the ball is more of a riser. Because this is where he'll think about trying to steal third now they didn't get him over.
Even with the lefty up.
Even with a lefty up, if you forget about him, I mean, he has to make it. He knows that.
Theriot takes the first offering inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
The Phillies with a 2-run lead. I still think they're going to try and keep him there, though. Although it really looks like they're more concerned about a ball going through the infield. They don't want to cheat up much. Although Jimmy's coming in a couple steps now, just to let him know that they know he's there.
Pasednik caught 10 times trying to steal third. Kind of under the radar. Nearly 300 stolen bases for Pasednik in his career. 2-0 the count to Theriot. On the outside corner, 2-1.
Madsen wants to stay too, because you know Theriot can hit the ball out to left and left center, but he's a pull hitter. And when you're in this spot in a game late like this with a guy with power, you don't want to get anywhere near his power if you can avoid it. And that means you stay away from him. And all 3 pitches have been away so far. There they go again.
That one just missed. Nearly the same spot, but it was a little outside.
But that's a good approach they have to him.
Loney's on deck.
That's why you want to be careful with cutters and stuff like that to come in.
Good changeup.
Great changeup, 3-1. Really fooled him. Why wouldn't after all those hard fastballs away, and then Ryan throws a really good changeup.
Looking like a fastball coming in like that.
Sure.
So 3-2 to Theriot. Phillies leading 2-0. Trying to even up this series and stay close to the Braves in the division. The 3-2. He's late on it and he fouls it off. Setnik looking around, seeing which infielder is closest to him. Got him. Another changeup. Theriot's down on strike. Second straight strikeout for Matson.
Well, they really worked well together there to Carlos Ruiz and Ryan Matson. Number one, staying away from him because that guy's a home run hitter. And then throwing a couple of changeups in good spots and got him to chase. There you see the changeup grip. Look at that thing just spinning, and it goes straight down. And look at his bat just missing because he's out front. Great sequence with that slow-mo we're using. Well, that's fun to watch.
You can see everything. See the tumbling, the grip.
You really see the spin on the ball.
And the power in the arm as it comes forward to release the ball.
If the hitter could only see the spin like that, it'd be a lot easier to hit.
Here's Loney. And he takes a pitch outside. It's 1-0.
Another guy. Stay away from him.
Wasn't sure if Chad Fairchild was going to call that a strike the way he reacted.
It was a strike.
That's why he's in the 4-hole.
It's a little deliberate.
Loney's numbers, the runners in scoring position, the best on the Dodgers. All the injuries the Dodgers have had, he'd probably be in the 4-hole even if Manny Ramirez was here.
Oh.
In the air to left field. Ibanez coming on. It looks like Matson's going to get out of it. Raul's under it. Makes the catch at the side. Is retired. No runs. One hit. One man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still 2-0 Phils. Celebration here at the ballpark as the Phils start a 3-game series with the Milwaukee Brewers. Don't forget, Sunday the 5th is the IBEW Local 98 Jimmy Rollins t-shirt. That's free to fans 14 and under. Get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. Brewers tonight are losing to the Diamondbacks 4-2. They start, they stop, they start, they stop. They just have not had a consistent season. As Han-Chi Kuo is the new pitcher for the Dodgers as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning, where the Phillies leading at 2-0. Kuo in his 37th game, 3-1 with a 0.93 ERA.
Look at those numbers.
Lefties are hitting under 100 against him.
How about this? 19 hits.
Yeah.
Sorry, I covered that up. 19. You don't see that very often. See that far hits under innings pitch for guys.
Well, he was an all-star. A lot of folks wondered when Charlie Manuel added him to the all-star team, why Han-Chi Kuo and not another starting pitcher? He said, I needed a left-handed specialist, and he's the best one of the game. And
amen.
Turns out that he's right.
He's not fun to hit off, this guy, especially left-handed. 2 hits off him all year.
Well, and he's found his niche because he was a starter for the Dodgers originally, and he just couldn't get comfortable working from the windup. And so he started to start games from the stretch.
He's had 2 Tommy John surgeries.
2 Tommy John surgeries.
This guy throws in the mid-90s. He's got a nasty little breaking ball, too.
A 1-2 to Ibanez, who has an RBI double tonight to extend his hitting streak to 18 straight.
The best hitting streak ever for a guy with
the first initial being I.
Yeah. And his last name. Now, someone said there's what he's done with first batters. How about Ichiro? Of course not.
Well, I think that
he's Suzuki.
If the game were to end, if there was never any baseball to be played again, as it's 2-2, and they needed to fill in the blank somewhere, then maybe they would defer to Ichiro. But I don't think the game's going to end.
No, I don't think so. No, it survived to this point with all the things that people in this game have tried to do to destroy it. So it's not going to happen.
2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Ibanez. Back toward the middle. 3rd hit for a left-hander this year.
And the Dodgers people will tell you that's the first hard hit ball for a hit because they have 1 bleeder and 1 infield hit. And that ball was smoked right through his wickets. He's not used to that.
He's not used to peeking over at first and seeing a base runner.
No. Good job here by Raul. He got the slider just out over the plate a little bit, and nice piece of hitting there right back through the middle. Brad Lidge starting to throw for the Phillies. I wouldn't mind picking up a few more here.
Would it be bad? Jason Worth tonight is 1 for 2.
Dominic Brown's going to get an education hitting off this guy. He's in the on-deck circle.
Line drive toward left. Gibbons will let the ball catch him. 1 away.
Boy, Jason, we're scalding that thing.
Hey, host your next corporate or social event here at the ballpark. The ballpark offers a variety of unique spaces and on-site catering available year-round, like the Diamond Club. It's a great place to host an upcoming event. You can take advantage of all the ballpark has to offer. Tours, message board usage. Call the special events department at 215-218-5100 or log on to Phillies.com/special events. Dominic Brown chops one right past Loney. Again, it's pretty good swings against him.
Yeah, that's a great idea, too, for Dominic. Go up there and look for a fastball early and hit it.
Dominic had the first star of the eye of the night back in the 4th on a ground out. With Raul leading off first, the hole's open on the right side.
See, the thing about Quo, as you watch him a lot on TV in some of those late games, is he not only throws hard, but he throws to a spot. To left-handed hitters, he hits that outside corner consistently, and then he'll go away with a breaking ball a little bit off the plate, and he'll chase.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, how about the Orioles? 8-1 under Buck Showalter. Now they're playing the Indians this series, but still, they swept the Angels.
Beat the White Sox 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4 against the White Sox, and now they've won a couple in a row against the Indians. Swing and a miss. 96 with that fastball. 2 outs.
Good learning experience. Getting a chance to hit off a guy like that. Easy for us to see.
With 2 away, another right-hander in Carlos Ruiz. Carlos 0 for 3 tonight. Outside, 2-0 to Carlos. Mentioned earlier, the Phils win tonight. They can stay 2.5 games within reach of the Braves. Giants play later on against the Cubs. And the Giants lead the wild card. There's Brad Lidge, just about ready to come into the ball game. Take a couple more runs.
Yeah, Madsen did a great job. He got through Ethier and Loney in that inning too, so you don't have to face those 2 left-handed batters here in the 9th inning.
Swing and a miss. It's 2-2. And the other thing, Matt Kemp, although he's struggling, he still has the ability to pop the ball.
Sure.
He's already hit tonight as a potential pinch hitter.
Right, they have 4 more players on their bench, all right-handed hitters. One of them being that guy right there, Juan Castro, who started the season with the Phillies. That's Rafael Belliard, or Ronnie Belliard beside him.
Carlos lines it to center. Pasednik moves over to his left a few steps, puts it away in the side. He's retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We go to the 9th. It's time for Brad Lidge to try to finish this one up for the Phils. Introduces an easy new fundraising program. Here's what you do. You select the player and the stat that you would like to follow. Pick your pledge increment. choose where the money will go from 4 Phillies charities. Supporting Phillies charities has never been easier. See the community section of Phillies.com for more details. Top of the 9th inning, the sold-out crowd, 45,144. They watched a gem over 7 innings from Roy Oswalt. He and Chad Billingsley really battled back and forth. Oswalt left with a 2-0 lead. That's where it stands as we go to the 9th. Brad Lidge set to begin his 30th ball game. 14 saves for Brad. His earned run average at 4.62. And he will face Casey Blake, Jay Gibbons, and Jamie Carroll. Those are the scheduled hitters for the Dodgers. Oswalt for 7, Ryan Matson for 1, and now Brad Lidge. It's the game plan that every manager lays out and hopes he can get to. A starter, a setup man, and a closer. First 2 parts were done properly. And here comes Brad Lidge and his turn. And the first pitch to Casey Blake, a fastball down low, and it's 1-0. Brad has been better lately. His slider has been really good. And it was really good on that offering to Casey Blake. It all really depends on his fastball and the command of that fastball. Another good slider. 1-2 the count. Hit towards shortstop. Jimmy backs up on it, has time, hurries the throw. Sweeney with the stretch, 1 away. And from Lehigh Valley, Shane Victorino's second night with the Iron Pigs was pretty successful. We showed you the triple and the home run. How about this ball to left field, a base hit that scores 2 runs. It was a bases loaded single. So Victorino 3 for 4 tonight, a double shy of the cycle. More importantly, though, he was swinging the bat and looked like he was swinging it without any problems from that oblique.
Could swing a lot right-handed, huh?
Yeah.
Last night he faced left-handers, evidently.
Here's Jay Gibbons with 1 away. Gibbons takes a slider, and he's got a good one tonight, at least to the first 2 batters. Iron Pigs lead Pawtucket, the AAA affiliate of the Red Sox, 5-1 in the 9th. 0-2 the count.
Only 1 fastball so far, and he threw it in the dirt first pitch, and since then sliders.
And different ones too. You know, the sliders that Charlie watched him throw to Casey Blake were toward the outside part of the plate. The ones to Gibbons have been just low, but good ones, good spots. Swing and a miss. He got him. Another slider. That one in the dirt, blocked nicely by Ruiz. 2 away here in the 9th.
Here it is. He buries this slider. Look at that spin. I love this slow-mo. That is really neat to see. What a great job Carlos Ruiz does blocking that breaking ball in the dirt, just selling out and making sure he controls it. Because that's a chase pitch, and you hope he'll swing and you can block it and throw it around the infield.
A little bit of a buzz in the crowd as Lidge has the first 2 batters out here in the 9th. Jamie Carroll's the hitter, and he overthrew that pitch. Another slider, and it's 1-0.
Reed Johnson, a right-handed batter on deck to bat for Ellis.
In there for a strike at 90 with that fastball, and it's 1-1. Another good slider. He's moving it everywhere.
1-2 the count to Jamie Carroll. 45,144 on Pound Night here at the ballpark, coming to their feet. Got him! Another slider. Carroll is rung up as Ruiz applies the tag. Brad Lidge was dealing tonight. It's a 1-2-3, top of the ninth inning, and the Phillies win it 2-0. It's the first victory in a Phillies uniform for Roy Oswalt. And just as he used to do with the Astros, Brad Lidge saves it with the Phillies. Man, what a slider he had cooking tonight.
Yeah, he had a good slider, and he kept using it, too, and he would get ahead, and then he threw the one to Barry.